Welcome to Let's Do Yoga with Joanne, and I'm Joanne. So just so you know, it's minus 45 degrees Celsius wind chill outside this morning. So it's one of those days where the tire freezes flat and you try and drive and it goes like bumpity, bumpity, bumpity. No, actually the new tires don't do that anymore. But those of you who are my age, you remember those days. Today we're going to look at balance, and boy, you know, as you get older, balance becomes tricky. First of all, there's ice, and then there's like different levels that you got to try and walk on, and rutted roads. And then there's the vertigo that you know, you struggle with a little bit of high blood pressure or low blood pressure. And so it seems like the first thing we struggle with is balance. So today we're going to do a little bit of work on that. And let's begin with a breathing exercise like I normally do. Trying to find that balance. Let's do a balancing breath, or sometimes it's called box breath. So we'll inhale for a certain count, and I'll do the counting. Then we'll hold with the lungs full for a count, and then exhale for a count, and then hold with the lungs empty, which is tricky, for the same count. And it's always the same count. And we'll go, say, 3 breaths, and then 4 breaths, and maybe we'll even try 5. If at any time you're feeling lightheaded or like that isn't the exercise for you, or any of these exercises this morning, just back out of it and join us in the next one, okay? Let's begin with the breathing. So get your shoulders over your hips, have a nice upright body posture so you have lots of room in the front for your lungs to expand. And inhale, 2, 1, hold, 2, 1, exhale, 2, 1, hold empty, 2, 1. And then just take a normal breath in the middle here. And we'll go to the count of 4 now. Inhale, 3, 2, 1, hold, 3, 2, 1, exhale, 3, 2, 1, hold, 3, 2, 1. Take a normal breath. It's always good to get a normal breath in between so we, you know, don't struggle with our breathing, because that's no good either. And last one, we're going for the count of 5. Let's try and get some zen, some balance here. And inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, hold, 4, 3, 2, 1, exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1, hold empty, 4, 3, 2, 1. And take a normal breath. I always find that holding empty that's a toughie. A little bit of a neck exercise. I'm going to lay my left ear down towards my left shoulder. So you'll notice I'm not lifting that left shoulder up. I'm bringing the ear to the shoulder. And then that really stretches out the right side. And if you feel that that's, you know, working hard, you can go ahead and give it a little lovin' and a little massage there. And we just hold it for a short time. We don't need to hold it for too terribly long. And then go to the other side. So now my right ear is reaching for my right shoulder. And then I'm going to go ahead and just massage this left side a little bit. And release. Now we do move the shoulders. I want to move the shoulders up into my ears so I feel what that feels like. And then using my elbows, I'm going to bring my elbows back a little bit, lower now my shoulders, and I can feel my shoulder blades come together a little bit in my back and then slide down my spine so that I'm placing them properly in the back. Now, can you keep your shoulder blades kind of hugging that spine and then like that far down, and then bring the shoulders forward, and then bring the shoulders back? And you can see there's quite a lot of movement there. So I'm bringing the shoulders forward, and then I'm bringing them back. It's kind of surprising how much movement you actually have forward and back. But I'm keeping my shoulder blades low down. Last one, I'm coming forward and back. Okay, and then you can just kind of release out of that. I'm going to do some torso circles just to wake up my back and my core a little bit. So coming over to the left hand side, it might look like the right side to you. And then forward, and I'm just staying small. I'm not getting really big, and coming around the back. And I'll do about 3 of those to the one side. It's just to say to my back that it's time to wake up. And then take it in the other direction. Nice and small. Don't overwork it yet. Then I want to go to more of a medium-sized circle when I've done my third one. So a medium-sized circle means I'm leaning back until I feel my core kick in, and it says, oh yeah, I guess I have to work now to hold you. And then to the side where I almost feel light on the other side buttock. Forward, I'm actually going to be reaching a bit and looking forward a little bit. To the other side where I get light on the opposite side buttock, and then I come back again to where the core is working. So just do 3 of those in that size, a medium size, because we'll go large in a minute, or not even a minute. Do 3 that size in that one direction, and then take it the other direction. So I had someone ask me one time, why do you live where it gets so cold? And those of you who live here where it's cold, if you could answer that question for me. No, I'm kidding. I live here because it's the best place to be. Okay, now I want to do a nice big large circle. So I'm going to come to the side until my buttock literally reaches off that chair. That's how far over I am. And if you're nervous, you can hang on to your chair to do these. Then when I come forward, I'm going to pull my knees apart so that I literally drop down to come forward. Come over to that other side until I lift the buttock off the chair on that side. And then I'm going to come back. I'm sitting forward on my chair, so I'm going to lean way back so that my core is working hard to keep me in this angle towards the back. Okay, so 3 of those where the buttock literally lifts off, or you kind of bop down a little bit. Come over to the other side where there's lift off on the opposite buttock to the back, and go for the third one. And then I want to take the opposite direction. So I've really woken up the core. And again, I'm on my last circle. Actually, no, now I'm on my last circle. I usually do 3. And then come right back up. So we'll do a bit of a flow. It's not too hard. And I want to bring my hands together by my heart center. I've got my fingers interlaced, but you can have them like that or whatever. The thing is, in our next one, I'm going to turn them inside out to come forward. So that's why I've interlaced them. When they're here, it's inhale. On your exhale, you turn them inside out and bring them forward. On the inhale, lift them all the way up. On the exhale, I want to bring those hands behind me, and I might grab my elbows, or I might keep my hands apart like so. That's on my exhale. On my inhale, I want to lift those hands up behind me. Now that's really hard to do if you have a back on the chair, but you can. So what I'm trying to do is, while I'm seated, I'm trying to lift my hands up. But if you don't get very far, it's okay, because that's on your inhale. On your exhale, you're going to lean forward between those legs and lift those arms all the way up. So you'll be able to get it here. And then inhale, you sit straight up. Exhale, and you release those hands down. Okay, so 2 more times. Let's do that. Inhale, interlace. Exhale forward. Inhale the hands all the way up, still inside out. Exhale, lower those hands all the way down behind you and clasp them together. Inhale, and you're going to try and lift them up a little bit as far as your back chair will allow. And then exhale, you're going to lean forward and bring those arms as high as you can. Inhale, and you sit straight up. We can't stay with our head below our heart for any length of time. Exhale and release that down. If you have high blood pressure, you can't have your head below your heart for anything more than a few seconds. But I mean, you have to have your head below your heart at some point, sometimes in your day, picking something off the floor, tying your shoes, picking up your grandbaby, whatever. So you want to know that you can do that, but you've only got a second down there to get done whatever you need to get done. So that's what we need to remember. All right, finger lace together. Inhale. Exhale, inside out ahead. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, the hands come behind you and clasp together. Inhale, lift those arms up as best you can. Exhale, bringing your body forward and your arms up. Inhale, bringing your torso or your body straight up. Exhale and release. Okay, so we've gone through that 3 times. We want to get into our standing postures now. So we have a couple, and then we'll do some balancing, some more balancing. Tipping over to the side when we were doing those torso circles was already one balance. But so let's start out here in balancing table. So I want both my hands on the chair, and I want my feet and knees under my hips. So you don't want to be too far out. You want them fairly direct underneath each other. My right leg will come straight out at about hip level, or lower if you need to go lower, wherever you get. Or some people leave their toes on the floor and they kind of play with lifting their leg up for balance. Other people can have their leg up. So you get to where you get to. I've got my right hand on the chair. My right leg is up in the air. So my left arm, I want to lift off the chair. It's called balancing table because you're balancing here now. You have the left leg on the floor, the left foot, and the right hand on the floor. You're holding that left arm up in the air and the right leg up in the air. And if that's too much, you can always bring that right toe down to the floor. So we've probably been holding that for 3 breaths. Go ahead and bring your left hand back to the chair. Bend your knees to come into chair. So I'm reaching behind me to try and find the chair behind me and bringing my hands forward. On my inhale, the arms come up. On my exhale, the arms go forward. Inhale up. Exhale forward. Inhale up. Exhale, bring those arms all the way down to the chair, and then bring that right foot back a bit and place that foot down at a 45-degree angle on a railroad track. Okay, so you're not on a tightrope, they're not right behind each other, but there's some space between so you can feel grounded. My front knee had been bent because I was in chair. I want to straighten that now. And my back leg is straight. My back knee is straight. Okay, I want to take pyramid from here. So I make sure my back is nice and straight. I'm not rounding, I'm straight, like there's a 2x4 there. And instead of bending from the waist, I'm going to bend the elbows, which brings me down over that left leg. And you can probably feel the hamstring kick in pretty quick when you start bending those elbows. So you get to where you feel some work is being done in that left leg, and that's all the farther you have to go. You don't have to go any farther than that. But if you find your head is below your heart, then every time you inhale, we straighten those elbows. And then exhale and bend the elbows, coming down. Inhale, straighten those elbows. Exhale, bend the elbows. Inhale and straighten the elbows. Bring your feet together underneath you again like you had them before. And this time the left leg lifts up and the right arm comes forward. So again, you can play with having those left toes on the floor, or you can go ahead and try and hold them up. So inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Bring your foot and your hand down. If you've ever watched any of my other videos, you know that I always say in balance you should be frustrated. So if you were fighting to try and get your balance there in that pose, that's good. That's what we want. We want to get a little frustrated. Okay, so I'm reaching behind me for that invisible chair, and then my arms come straight forward. Inhale them up, exhale them forward. Inhale them up and exhale them forward. Inhale them up and exhale those hands forward and all the way down to the chair. You're going to take your left leg behind you and place that foot at a 45 degree. My feet are on a railroad track. My front knee straightens up immediately because now I want to take this pyramid pose with my right leg forward instead of left. And inhale while I'm here, while my elbows are straight. Exhale, I'm going to bend those elbows until I feel that hamstring working in that front leg. And it's only going to work if you've got your front leg straight. Inhale, straighten those elbows. Exhale, bend them. Inhale, straighten. Exhale and bend them. Inhale, straighten, bring those feet together. And you can stand up. And let's try our balance pose. I like doing balance stuff. You know, I in the beginning, when I started yoga, of course I didn't start yoga till I was just about 55 or something like that. Man, balance was so tough. It was so hard. So I understand being frustrated because I still get very frustrated because I struggle with balance too. So my right leg is the leg that I want to put my weight on. This is the one that I want super strong. And my right hand is hanging onto the chair. I'm going to bring up my left knee and bend it. You can see that it's bent. And then I'm going to take it out to the side. And right about as you're coming out to the side, you'll feel your balance challenged. That's good. You want that. I know you're saying to yourself, no, Joanne, I don't want that. But yeah, you do. You want to get a little frustrated. Then play with taking that hand off the chair. Can it be done? So one of the pieces with balance is to find a point to stare at. Usually about a 45-degree angle is best. Don't pick the family dog because you have to choose something that doesn't move. So something that isn't moving, and stare really hard, and maybe you'll be able to take your hand off the chair with that knee out to the side. And then let's just try the other direction. So I'm going to put on my weight in my left leg now. Lift that right knee up. Take it out to the side. Remember to stare at a point. It's called a drishta point in yoga. Stare at something that isn't going to move. The family turtle would be better than the family dog. And then lifting your hand off that chair. Whoops. Yeah, so don't look at me because in balance, I'm always moving, trying hard to get my balance just like you are. And then release. So I don't know how many times you saw me reach for that chair, but it was pretty often this morning. Hi. Some days the balance is great and other days not so much. Okay, so let's just do an exercise. This isn't considered chair yoga. It's more of an exercise in a chair, but it's really important because it crosses the midline, and that sparks things in the brain, opens up pathways up there. So I'm going to take my hands and place them on my elbows. I'm going to lift that left leg and reach for it with my right. You don't have to touch it. You just have to reach for it, coming across your midline as best you can. And then come back. Take the other one, coming across. And come back. And there's also a bit of you can feel there's a bit of a twist in your spine, and there's quite a lot of things that are going on here. And once more the other side. Bring those legs apart. My knees are open. I'm going to lay an elbow on this thigh. So my right elbow is on my right thigh. And then I'll just lift that left arm all the way up and over. The other thing we have to be careful of with high blood pressure is that we don't have our arms over our heads for too long. So I immediately bring it back to shoulder height. And then I just reach out and take another stretch right away. Just feels so good. We'll do 3 of those. So that was 2. Let's bring that back to shoulder height and go for a 3rd time. And then just take that left elbow down to the left thigh. The right arm is going to come all the way up and over. Bring that right arm down to shoulder height. Go for the 2nd time. Shoulder height. Really, isn't this the perfect thing to do on a day when it's so cold outside? Overhead. Shoulder height. And then bring your hands down, push yourself back into your chair. When you lean into the back of a chair, it's like a message to the brain that it's time to relax. So most people will lean into the back of a chair, and if you listen, they even give a bit of a sigh. It's automatic and you don't even realize you're doing it. So do your sigh. Have your nice relaxing sigh. You did some work. Balancing work is hard on the core. And then close your eyes. Think about relieving any tension in your body. So inhale, and then just send your exhale, it's through the nose, but send your exhale to whatever part of the body that might still be a bit tense. And send a message and say, relax already. Like, let's get zen. And another inhale. And then an exhale. Just really let the lower half of your body get heavy and relax. Maybe bring those shoulder blades back and down a little bit by bringing the elbows a little bit back and down. And that tends to relax the arms and the fingers. Lower, or remove that lower jaw from the upper jaw. Just release it. And soften any muscles in your cheeks. Go ahead and take about 5 inhales here. And then slowly opening your eyes. So if you enjoyed this video, please press like or share or subscribe, and that way it gets out to more people. There may be people living in countries like mine, and at minus 45, they don't want to leave the house to go to a class. So may your inner light shine for all to see. Namaste.